Hi there, I'm Karsten. I'm the co-founder of Meta Startup Studio, and this is the 100K Academy where you learn hyper-practical skills to start, run, and grow a purpose-driven lifestyle business. Today's topic is how to niche down 4x to create 10x in profits. So let me give you some context. Again, you may have heard us talk about four different stages of business building before, right? So the first stage, customer discovery, the second stage, customer validation, then customer creation, and eventually company building. When you're first starting out, these are always going to be the steps to go through. If you miss any of them, if you take them in the wrong order, you're going to lose a lot of time and money. But in order to even start with the first one, you need to decide what's your target market, what's your niche, the way we talk about it, right? And we always talk about niching down at least 4 times. Because if you're not niching down and you're going to do customer discovery, you're going to do it with, the world. And the world is a lot of people. And that's going to take a while to do and to find red threads in and to build some meaningful, assumptions and hypotheses on. So what you want to do is niche down. The more the better. 4x plus is what we always talk about. The only problem is that people don't love to niche down because the thought is, and we had the same, by the way, is I may lose out. I am just starting out. Already nobody's buying from me. Like I hope just anyone jumps on this. I could help anyone with what I do. I can design stuff for anyone. I can coach anyone, right? I can build furniture for anyone. That may be true, but you need to start somewhere because in order to define an offer and to go through this process efficiently of, getting out there with the first product and service and start earning money, making your first 100K per year in profits, in order to get there as fast as possible, because that's what you need for your lifestyle to be sustained, for your safety and foundations. So you want to get there as fast as possible. You don't have a everlasting runway potentially, right? So in order to do this, you need to niche down, and you can always expand your niche later. And also people are afraid of the perspective. Oh, if I only have this niche, like after some time, what's my perspective in my business? But you can always expand your niche. You can always apply the same process to the next niche, but now you've gained confidence, branding, like knowledge, you brand awareness, maybe more people know you, so everything becomes a little bit easier down the line. But you got to start somewhere. So niche down at least 4 times. And maybe before we dive into a little calculation here, people tend to make better connections in their brain with analogies. So let's look at doctors, right? There is lots of doctors, and there is, general doctors. So a general doctor gets their, 100, 200,000 euro, dollars, whatever, per year, right? That's a general doctor. There's going to be a lot of general doctors. When you first come out, you're a general doctor. Now, if you want to become a specialized doctor further on, like a heart surgeon, there's some more specific further education and skills that you need to dive into. You're going to learn much more about one specific part of being a doctor, the heart and all of that, being a surgeon. And, this eventually will lead to you, for the same amount of time that you're investing, to get double, sometimes triple the amount of money as a general doctor for the same time and energy investment, right? So it's already something we're like, oh yeah, true, niching down, that can be profitable actually, right? So let me dive into a more generalized example now with you in a calculation. I'll share my screen, 1 second. All right, so here we are. So let's take an example of a coach. We're going to talk first about what's our target market up here, and then we're going to do some calculations to show you how 10x can be achieved in profits by niching down 4x. So first of all, let's assume I'm a coach. I help people with stress management and productivity. Cool. It's sort of a niche, right? I'm not just a coach who helps people with anything, but I help them with a topic already. That's already, a start. It's 1x, right? 1x niching. Now let's take this a lot further, right? So let's take a second coach who is also choosing this. Let's say stress management and productivity is also their niche. But then let's build this further, right? So this, let me actually move this here. So this is the first. Now let's pick a second. What's the second? The second could be only for expats. The third could be who are parents. The fourth could be who live in Berlin. And the fifth could be who are into neuroscience and look for neuroscience mindset tools to solve this, right? So you can already see how you can be so much more specific when you think of expats. What are the stress management and productivity things expats have on their mind? What about parents, right? There's very specific types of problems that parents have that flow into that. What about in Berlin specifically, right? The Berlin infrastructure and ecosystem brings additional complexities that don't necessarily exist in the same way everywhere else. And then using neuroscience. Okay, so you're really becoming one of very few now versus one of lots of people who offer something, which is one of the reasons why you can be more profitable. So with that established, let's look at, there's some assumptions here that I put together just as a base for our calculation here. The first assumption is there's 100,000 people, you have a 0.5% conversion rate, you spend €100 or dollar on customer acquisition, get people to buy from you, and then you ask or you gain $200 or euros from them purchasing something from you. And then in the other scenario, it's only 5,000 people, it's 5%, it's 50, and it's 2,000. So let me explain this to you step by step. Looking here on the left-hand side is the broad positioning, right? Just stress management and productivity. On the right-hand side, the expat parents Berlin neuroscience version of that. Niche positioning, right? This is a 5x niche actually. Okay, let's call it 4x niche for the sake of this video. So potential customers, let's put it in 100,000. Here, only 5,000. May seem scary already, right? Conversion rate 0.5%. Now, here 5%. And this is, maybe just speaking to this for a second, when you niche down, right, into expats, parents, Berlin neuroscience, you can find those Facebook groups where they are. You can find places where they physically are. You can identify them and you can speak to them and their problems and their issues and their desired solutions much more precisely. And if you can do this more precisely and find them quicker and easier, then they will buy easier from you because they see themselves in your descriptions and you really hit the spot much more likely than in a generalized positioning. And because you know where they are, it's cheaper to find them, right? So let me also put the costs here. So let's assume you spend $100 for the general one and you spend only $50 for the niche one, right? We set a 0.5% conversion and a 5% conversion accordingly. And now the only thing left is CLV, customer lifetime value. So you can charge more and people will buy more often and stay with you if you are more niche down, because you're not replaceable so easily, right? If you're super generalized, offering a commodity that anyone can offer, maybe you're in the right space and time and they're like, oh, I'll buy from this person. And the next day they're not anymore there, or they move on and they see lots of other people offering the same thing and it's all the same anyway, kind of, right? And at least it sounds the same, because if you're not marketing specifically, then it all kind of sounds the same. So now with this, let me put in here, they spend 200, because also the solution that you offer as a generalized, they're like, if I'm offering a generalized service of stress management and productivity, I'll learn some generic tools is what I'm thinking. And I'll have to still do quite a lot of work and I have to hope they work for me specifically. I'm not really sure about that. So I'm not willing to spend as much. Whilst here, this is exactly targeted for me. They probably, in my assumption, looking at them targeting this specific niche and saying that, is they probably have all the detailed tools, all the expats, admin troubles. They probably have a list of all those documents, or this is what you could talk about as a coach as well, right? Here, this is what causes a lot of stress, next to mindset coaching and neuroscience, here as a bonus, I throw you this easy admin stuff, solve your standard admin crap kind of thing, right? And they're like, oh man, this is getting really nice. I'm solving lots of stuff and I have a high confidence that they really understand me and give me something that I really need. So let's assume they spend more money on you per purchase. Let's say instead of 200, they spend 400. And because you are so niche down, you will solve one problem for them, but then you also niche down so much on this persona that you have already, after you've solved that one problem, you still understand that persona and what they need as the next thing. You have developed a second service and they come to you again, because again, you're so specialized and they already trust you from the first one. It's much more likely they'll buy again, right? And then it's another 400 and then, I don't know, another let's say whatever it is. And then eventually they pay you, let's say over time, 2,000. right? Or you don't say 400, but you say, 600, right? And the 600, they only have to do kind of 3-ish times, right? Over time. So for this example, these are the numbers. 100,000 people, 0.5% conversion rate, 100 cost, 200 customer lifetime value. The other one, 5,000 people only, but a 5% conversion, half the cost of acquisition, and 10 times the amount of value that people are willing to pay for it. So now let's look at what this leads to. So if I now take 100,000 people that, let's say you reach them, and this is obviously a simplified calculation, right? And you then multiply this by this conversion rate. So this many people who see your offering, they will actually convert, right? And now you multiply this times, what you're getting from them over a lifetime minus the costs it took you to acquire them. There you go, 50K, great, all right? So now we apply the same formula. I copy, paste this over here. We are almost at 500K. We are almost at our 10X. Just by niching down and having slightly better KPIs across the way of doing business and converting and acquiring customers. So I hope this helped you identify and see and maybe start believing in how niching down can actually be beneficial. And let me stop sharing here. Also, I hope this gives you motivation to maybe play with numbers a bit more often, and maybe we're actually going to put a 100K business calculator here somewhere below the video, which we put together to just show people, there are many ways you can earn 100K in profits per year, and there is some KPIs and numbers that will lead to that. And the earlier you start thinking numbers, the better. But there'll be another video on that as well. But the tool is there, so you can start continue this numbers journey. But to summarize, niche down at least 4 times, right? Get comfortable and think about your business in terms of numbers. Very important, right? That's your logical way of why niching down is good. The first brain reaction is fear. Oh no, I'm niching down. I'm reducing my potential. I'm not gonna live because I don't have enough money. Then you show your brain, hey, there's some numbers, and your brain starts to buy in. So very important. So now action, right? None of this is meant for knowledge consumption. It's meant for action. Decide your niche down 4x, maybe even right now, decide this, right? You can always change it. Just write down what would it mean to niche down at least 4x. And now start finding customers out there. Start doing customer discovery interviews, right? And there will be a link somewhere here where I will show you how to do, where I talk about how to do customer discovery interviews, what questions to ask, how to approach that step of the process. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed and go into action. Peace.